Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. We're talking belly dancing today. We're with the co-founder of the Belly Dancers of Color Collective, Adina Gidens-Smith. Welcome, Adina.
Thank you, Stephanie. So happy to be here.
Adina, belly dancing is an art that's been around for thousands of years. How did you get started with the Black Belly Dancers of Color Collective?
So, Stephanie, it's very interesting. I'm a dancer at heart. I've been a dancer my whole life through. And I'm an African American woman. So it just goes without saying. I don't even have to say that. So in terms of how we got started, I started dancing at a studio called Mamacita in 2004. A beautiful woman named Dr. Sunyata Amen graced the floor and taught us in the most gentle, loving way of how to honor your body through dance. It was a different concept, having been a lifelong dancer, a baby girl in a tutu, danced through high school, danced through college, but I never had a teacher embrace my whole body just where it was. If you're a dancer or have ever been in a dance class, you might have experienced someone telling you that you're too this, or you're not long enough here, or this is not quite right. And what she told me on that very first day was, come as you are. And I was hooked.
And so it's easy to say honor your body, but what exactly does that mean? Does that mean respect what your body is telling you? Respect the limits of your body? What exactly does that mean, honor your body?
Stephanie, that's a great question. And it means all of that, okay? Our bodies as women, and let me say this, belly dancing is the oldest living continuous art form. It is thousands of years old. It was born in Africa. Belly dance is African dance. Belly dance is already in us. All of the dance that you see all around the world has taken from the cup of Mother Africa, and it's shifted through time. And so just like the dance has shifted, the woman's body changes through time. And we honor that. We honor the fact that we have babies and our bellies get big, and then the babies are born and our bellies are different. We honor ourselves as we get older. You can go to a belly dance class and have a grandbaby and a grandmother and everyone in between. We share, we teach, we laugh, we grow through the whole life cycle of it.
How does belly dancing teach, well, you just said it, how it can teach self-esteem, whether you're a size 2 or whether you're a size 22. It's honoring the fact that we are women. Our bodies go through certain changes at certain times, but this is who we are. This is who I am at this very moment. How does it help to nurture that idea?
So oftentimes, just growing up in this society, we, again, are taught to look outside of ourselves for acceptance, to look at the TV or the magazine, and those images they're quite frankly fake. You know, they've been doctored and changed and that kind of thing, and they don't honor the fullness of everything. So as you're looking at yourself in the mirror and maybe something is jiggling, we are clapping for the jiggle. We are embracing the jiggle. We are using that jiggle. And that becomes a part of the dance and the beauty of it all. We honor the entire whole woman. I understand how you can ask a question, how do you do it? And it's more of a thing of doing it, you know, and instead of trying to explain how to do it. So I would say, come to class and I'll show you.
Now, a lot of the movements, it looks like it's kind of hard because it's isolated movements. So
Yes.
how long did it take you to catch on to belly dancing? How long are you in that kind of introductory place before you can actually consider yourself a true belly dancer?
So right from the start, you can consider yourself a belly dancer. Everybody's different, and it is a lead and follow dance. So in that first class with Sunyata, what she's done with a lot of us is she put our hands on her hips. so that we could feel where that movement was initiating from, which was much different from just looking at it. Like once I touched her, it was like, oh, that's where it's coming from. I could feel the hip muscle expanding and contracting and pushing out. It's dynamic movement. And so when you say how long, you have to spend some time in a craft. Any craft, you're going to spend time with it. Yoga, you're a yogini, that takes time. And you can always add to it. You can layer it. It's just so much you can do with this beautiful art.
How often should you practice? Is it something that you can do once a week? Is it something that you have to do every day? How much practice does it take to kind of get into the groove, get into the rhythm of what it's all about?
Now, Stephanie, it depends on your goals. So if you're taking belly dance for fitness and just for fun, once a week is fine. If you're not trying to be on stages around the world performing and you're just using this as your personal practice, you can do that. If you want to add more to it and you want to perform, of course, you're going to add more hours. So right now, as we're preparing for an upcoming event that we have, we're practicing every day this week and every day next week. So it really just depends on what you have going on and what you're trying to achieve and your proficiency and your comfortability as you progress in this beautiful art. But you will.
You just mentioned the fact that you all do some travel, you do performances. Tell me about that part of your life, that part of the business. Where have you been? What have you done?
Oh my goodness, Stephanie. So I love travel and I love dance. So recently I was in Egypt in September. It was a trip of study, but I did get a wonderful opportunity to dance with some Egyptian dancers while I was there. So that was the last trip. We have a beautiful not Cameroonian, Ivory Coast. I'm trying to think of how they say it. Ivorian, I believe is what they say. Ivorian Coast dancer who is a male who is teaching with us. His name is Nazu, and he teaches every fourth Saturday with us too. So we're bringing the divine masculine into our studio and, dancing through that.
How spiritual, or do you consider it a spiritual art as well?
I do. Anything that I include my whole body, heart, and soul, it is a prayer. When we're dancing, we do say our body is sacred and dance is her prayer. And so there are times when I'm dancing and I'm teaching with my students that I will say, maybe even close your eyes and let the goddess dance you. What wants to come out? What wants to be expressed? Feel that flow and be in that space for a moment. Oftentimes we feel like we need to follow all the time, but the spirit is speaking through you. So listen.
Tell us how you can move your body and kind of get fit when it comes to belly dancing. What parts of the body are you moving that you're tightening up? Are you burning calories? How can you use this to help you stay fit? I'm sure you know that there's some big health issues when it comes to African American women. 1 in 5 morbidly obese. We're more likely to have diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, you name the chronic diseases, we're more likely to have it. And even when it comes to COVID, even though we're not more likely to get it, if we do contract COVID, we have a worse outcome than other groups. So how can belly dancing be used to help women stay fit?
The first thing I would say that belly dance does, it helps put you in a different mind space. With any illness and wellness in your body, it first starts in your mind. And as you start to shift your consciousness into wellness and understand that you can produce any condition in your body, you can start to heal everything, absolutely everything. So the immediate effect, I would say, of belly dancing is peace of mind. Secondarily, I would say you get into touch with different parts of muscle groups in your body that maybe have been dormant, you haven't been using because daily life doesn't require you to do it. Many of us sit and type all day. We're at our computers, you have carpal tunnel. And so in belly dancing, we're doing florios and we're doing things with the wrists that are affecting these these muscles in our wrists. So belly dance is also very healing to the female reproductive organs. Oftentimes women push their feelings down, which can become the fibroids and the uterine issues and fertility issues. We loosen all of that up and we literally shake the emotion out of our bodies so that we can be light, happy. Digestion is better. Sleep is better. Just everything is better.
Fibroids, that's the black woman's curse. I was at a party a couple of years ago, and it was about 20 women there. And I would say about 15 of those 20 women, because we got into a discussion about fibroids, 15 of those 20 women had fibroids. Mm-hmm. That is how common it is among African American women. So that's so good to know that that's something natural that can help with that process that so many African American women suffer from.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's the mentality. It's the things that the news tells us. It's the things that these reports tell us, that we have to have the most of this and the most of that. We get in the mirror, we look at ourselves, and we tell ourselves that literally we are the original woman. We create life. We can create a situation of wellness in our own bodies. And we touch our wounds and we call for wellness in our wounds. We literally.
Tell me, how is belly dancing good for children, helping them learn their bodies? I always say to people when I'm first teaching yoga that one part of mindfulness and one part of yoga is being mindful of your body, because a lot of times we're living in these bodies and we don't even feel them. To be honest with you, the only time most people really feel their body is either when they're in pain or when they're having sex. Otherwise, you're not mindful of your body. And that's something I think we should teach starting with children.
Absolutely.
So how can belly dancing help children?
Okay. So belly dance, and this is an effect that can affect everybody. And so what you mentioned were two extremes, an extreme of pain and an extreme of pleasure. And many of us live in our heads. We're in our heads. We're literally above the neck is where we are. Belly dancing has you drop into your body and be present in this moment, to feel and to ask yourself to push into a hip, push into a chest line. What does it take to do that? And as you start to get into feeling your body that way, taking energy all the way to your fingertips, what does that look like? What does that feel like? It helps you to be present in your life.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Can we start today?
Absolutely. I'm ready for you.
Now, can men enjoy, because you mentioned earlier that you got to practice with a man. Can men belly dance?
You know what? It's not about gender. It is about feminine energy. Belly dance is a feminine art. Yet, masculine dances and feminine dance. So we honor the divine feminine, we honor the divine masculine, and we put it in a place that accepts all. So men can belly dance, absolutely. We do say that our circle is a sacred sisterhood, and we put dance on top of that. But in understanding that, it doesn't negate the masculine at all. If a man wants to dance with us, he understands that he's engaging feminine energy at that time. It doesn't speak to his sexuality at all. You can dance and be any sexual orientation. It doesn't really matter. You can belly dance and bring a masculinity to it. It's about how you execute.
When some people think of belly dancing, they think of sexuality. A dance that's inviting and sexual. Is that one of the concepts? Is that something that is part of it all? That sexual energy?
So, what's so funny is I put up a post maybe yesterday, I think, that talked about what is conjured when you say belly dance. People have all different types of connotations of what they think belly dance is. Now, I've told you that belly dance is the most sacred continuous art form that has survived thousands and thousands of years. It is a dance that mimicked how we brought children in the world. And as we know, sexuality is a part of that. The part where sexuality becomes a little morphed with it is how our current society views sexuality. That's the part that's off. Okay. So belly dance can be, it's not a salacious dance per se. That can be a fringe benefit though. So don't get me wrong. It wasn't made for that, but you can use it for that if that's what you choose to do. It is a sacred dance that was historically done in groups of women. And so we move our hips, we do things that people talk about twerking. These are Kundalini activation movements as you're moving these things and shaking your hips and breaking up those fibroids and releasing that stagnant energy in your lower chakra. That's what this is about. So sexuality is indeed a part of it, but not in a morphed way, not in a way that is, what's the word? Pornographic or anything like that. It's an honoring of your sexuality. It's an honoring of your sacredness. It's an honoring of your femininity.
Now, you all have a series that's coming up. What is that about?
So, Stephanie, for about 3 years, we've been doing something called Feminine Fire First Fridays. And we take the first Friday of various months to bring in guest artists, to do different things, to do special workshops. Like one, we've done a waist bead workshop. We've done a sass class with some Caribbean dancers. We've done a honeyed hips class. We've done a yoni egg class. We use those Feminine Fire Fridays to enhance our practice. So different things that will add to the spectrum of what we do is how we use this. So the last Friday of the year is coming up. That's December 3rd, 2021. And that is our hafla. And it's our glow in the dark hafla. And so you may ask, what's a hafla? It's a belly dance party.
Okay, I was going to, what is a hafla? Go ahead.
No, it's an Arab word that just means party celebration. So what we do is we have performances, we have guest artists come in, and after about an hour of a wonderful show, then we have a really fun just celebration, a party. We have a DJ, and with ours being a glow hafla, we have glow paint, we have, glow things, and it's just a really fun time for adults and children, families. We have local vendors who'll be vending. We'll have a wonderful food vendor, so you'll see a great show. You'll get to play with glow in the dark stuff, and then you'll get to eat and shop the local vendors. It's a really fun time. It's right here in Bowie too at Fitness for Less on 197.
And it's good. This is one particular, this is going to just be on December 3rd, or is it something that's going to be happening rather monthly, or how does that work?
So that particular event, the Glow in the Dark Hafla, we do every December, every first Friday in December. So this is the 5th time that we're doing it. First time in this location, the 5th time. Feminine Fire First Fridays change. They can be different. So the next one we'll be in February. We have a wonderful master class with a guest dancer coming in. We'll be fresh off of arena stage teaching. This dancer is a beautiful transgender dancer who teaches Afro-Cuban and belly dance and a bunch of wonderful different genres all melded and fused together. So we're expecting that with her in February. We also have another yoni egg class coming up. So Feminine Fire will come again, Glow Hafla in December. We don't do that that's our special big celebration.
So you're the co-founder. How did you and your partner get together? How did you guys kind of meet and come together and decide to do this thing?
So Layla Rosado is my belly dance boo. And in fact, we have a group of 5 women together that we work with. Most of us, I would say 4 out of the 5 of us met in that studio that I was telling you about, Mamacita, more than a decade ago. So we were all students of Dr. Sunyata Amen. That studio closed abruptly in about 2014. And literally, it was like your church closing. If you can imagine a place that had provided you solace and comfort and sisterhood for a decade, and you find out in 2 weeks that it's closing, we were all rather devastated. Now, before it closed, Sunyata had done a a class, a certificate class, where she taught maybe 20 of us in the art of instructing her style of teaching, which is what we've further developed, calling it African Caribbean style belly dance. So we dance to all different types of music, most things that have a drum and a downbeat. It's not uncommon to roll into our class and we're dancing to Parliament, or we might be dancing to a rap song or a reggae song, just anything that we feel, because we're going to dance it in a certain way. And then classical belly dance, Egyptian, street music, shabby, rock show, all of that. We really fuse it together. So to answer your question, Layla and I met at Mamacita's studio. And once our studio closed, we had all scattered, we were all in different places. We met up again maybe a year after the studio closed in another class. And we saw each other like, we got to do something. And that's when this concept was born, Belly Dancers of Color.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break so that we can feature some of your dancing and what exactly it looks like, because we can sit here and describe it, but there's nothing like kind of seeing what you do. Yeah, so we're just going to take a break and give our viewers a kind of piece of what you do.
Okay.
And we'll be back right after this.
Thank you.
So you're here at our Wednesday class, which is our Breathe, Live, Dance. Okay? Breathe, Live, Belly Dance class. For me, dance is life. Okay? So of course you have to breathe. The breath is a part of everything that we do. And we're living anyway, and belly dance is just an expression of the joy and love of life for me. And I'm just sharing that with my sisters here. We call this our sacred sister circle. Belly dance is African dance, okay? And so we teach women that, and we allow them to move to different types of beats and things and really just express the joy. If you like to dance, you'll love to do this. It's fun, and it's healthy, and it's a good time. Everyone has a first day. Oftentimes we're telling ourselves things about what belly dance is, and maybe might be false. Oftentimes if we unpack what the problem is. But if you like to dance and you're a dancer, might as well give it a try. Belly dance embraces you right where you are. I've danced my whole life, but belly dance said to me, come as you are and bring that to the floor and enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. We've been talking to Adina Gidens-Smith about her belly dancing company, belly dancing business. Tell us, what have we just been watching?
So Stephanie, you've just seen some clips from our classes. We have classes, 3 classes every week. We have Wednesday at 7:15. Saturdays, we're at Fitness for Less at 11, and our class in Lanham again at 1:15. So you've seen some clips from students, you've seen a little just taste of performance, and to get a feel for what we do, to know that you can do this. It's nothing to be afraid of. Just come on home to yourself. Just come on home. It's here for you.
You know, I'm a little intimidated. I can't lie.
So what scares you, Stephanie? Explain that to me, because that will help. What's scary about it?
You know what? I guess I'm like a lot of people. You're afraid of doing it wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But is there a right? And I know that you wouldn't judge me, but a lot of people are afraid, because I find that with yoga all the time. People are afraid, well, I'm going to do it wrong and I'm going to be judged. And part of yoga is not being judgmental. So just knowing that you're walking into a safe space. And a lot of African American women too will walk into spaces and you see a whole bunch of skinny people that don't look like you. So how do you assure people that they're walking into a safe, comfortable space and that it's not about right or wrong?
Awesome. That is so beautiful and that's so powerful. Stephanie, I'll say right off the bat, come as you are is our tagline, and we really mean it. That's what my dance teacher told me on my very first day, and that's what we continue to tell people. You do not have to lose weight to come to belly dance. You come to belly dance, and then you shape your body to its optimal, or whatever you want, but you can't change it or shift it by hating it. So we're gonna start from a place of love, and a place of love of everything where it is. When you come to our dance class, my sister Layla always says, take a break, and she says this is the real no judgment zone. It really is. All of our bodies are shaped differently. She and I could be doing the same thing, and it looks different because our bodies are different. So it's not about comparing yourself to anyone in the studio. Just look at you and be the best version of you today. So that's what we say. We understand that we've all been conditioned in this society for competition, for comparison, and that kind of thing. But in this dance class, that's a place to unpack it. That's a place to release. That's a place to practice radical self-love. So if you make the first step, we'll make the second.
Who else is a part of your group? Can you introduce the other ladies who are part of your group?
Yes, so our core group are 5 ladies, like I said. So myself, Layla Rosado, we have the wonderful Gigi Nash. Gigi, we met in the studio. She's an awesome personal trainer and a yogi, and she is a myriad and a wellspring of information. We have Janine Fetters. Janine has been with us. We met in Mamacita Studios, and Janine has been dancing for a long, long time as well. Initially studied Egyptian belly dance, but then got into our style of belly dance and never left. And then we have our protege. Her name is Lori Alford. We call her our little sister because she came to our classes and we grew her up in the tradition, just like our teacher did to us. And now she sits at the table with us. That's how it should progress. So that's our. Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So that's the group of 5 of you who started out and created this wonderful thing. And I like the fact that you said that it is a place of acceptance. It is a place where you come as you are, whether you're whatever the TV says you should be or not, or whether you have some self-conscious.
Cut it off. Well, watch our interview and then cut it off.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you got me. I'm gonna try it.
Have to have the cameras come back when Stephanie tries it. Maybe on your second class, not your first class.
We don't want to do the first class. But I want to thank you so much for joining us today for this show. I was so excited to have you. You and I go back a long ways. I knew your mom when I first started in broadcasting 40 years ago. So I am just so glad to see that you've grown up and you've prospered and that you're doing wonderful things and that you're helping African American women be the best that they can absolutely be.
Thank you, Stephanie, for having me. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us for the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant, and you've been watching Adina Gidens-Smith of the Belly Dancers of Color Collective. Have a great day, everybody.